Hello and welcome to this week of Rugby League, and a good week of course for the Magpie. They came down here on Wednesday night to Leichhardt and had that win over Penrith. We'll have some highlights of that for you. We'll have highlights of the Saturday match at the cricket ground with Canterbury proving too strong for Eastern Suburbs, and the match we all waited for, Balmain and St George, and we thought it was going to be one heck of a game. It was a good game in many parts, but nobody, I think, dreamt that St George was going to win by the eventual margin they did. But first things first, talking of the Magpies, let's take you back to some of the highlights of their victory over Penrith in the National Panasonic on Wednesday. Let's have a look at the two teams now. Firstly, the Magpies: Petherbridge, Williams, Gale, Naden, Sheehan, Neil, Brett Clark, Schubert at lock, McFarlane and Bilberger form a new second row, Bruce Clark, Fowler and Freeman up front. Their coach is Steve Goshen. The Penrith side, the most notable change, in fact, just quickly looking at it, the only change they've made is Jeff Gerard into the pack, putting some experience, some much-needed experience into the side, beaten by Canterbury last Sunday, and their coach, Tim Sheens. Freeman, he was formerly with the Magpies. He, I think, went to the Snowy Mountains for a stint. This is Clark. This is Neil, and across now for Schubert. Just outside the 22. And across for Brett Clark, who gets a stabbing, grubbing kick through there, and he's found touch just on his own side of the halfway. Well, you've heard me suggest that Penrith are going to have to improve loads from last Sunday. Everybody agrees with that. Here's Graham with their coach, Tim Sheens. Nobody would be more worried than him, surely.
Tim, you've been reported in the papers saying thank God for this Wednesday game.
Yes, I've likened it to someone falls off a horse. The first thing you want to do, or you'd like to do, is get back on. So that's something we've been very keen to do.
Oh, here's trouble straight away for Tim Sheens. Brett Gale is down to the 22. He passed the ball too early, but they're still going to score. Yes, Naden. The West centre, Ian Naden, has scored. Well, what a terrible shame for Tim to be talking at the time, lending us his time, and all of a sudden Brett Gale drew them in like bees around a honey pot. Petherbridge came in, made the extra. Brett Gale, I'll say it again, even though I was proven wrong, he passed it too early. And he gave the centre a chance to fall off him and go for Naden, but Naden showed tremendous pace. By the same token, he didn't even look at his right winger. He got in to score the 4 points. Here's the Foster's Lager replay.
This all came from a scrum won by Western Suburbs against the feed and the loose head. Petherbridge came in and made the extra man. That allowed them to make the split. Gale did pass too early to Naden, but Naden had his winger outside him. He felt he could make it on his own, and he did.
So there he is, the try scorer, Ian Naden. And the attempt at conversion to be taken by Ian Schubert. It left the boot nicely. He's got it. Schubert adds the extras. West 6, Panthers nothing, and give me a high five, says Schubert. This is Clements for a knock down, knock behind. Simmons. Have a look at him tonight. I know they're trailing, but he's dummy half-play excellent. A chip ahead by Alexander. Not cleaned up. This is play on. There's a try coming if Alexander passes. He does. Green goes for the corner, and he's pulled down an inch or two short. This will be a 5-metre scrum. So the ball was not totally covered up by the Magpies. Alexander swooped. He flicked it out the back for Green. And I thought Green was a special to score, but he couldn't quite get there.
He certainly would have had a better chance had he held the ball in his other hand and used his inside hand for the fend.
So it's Penrith on the attack. 5 metres out from the line. Clements a metre from the line. Alexander to dummy half. He'll throw, I think, the torpedo wide. Oh, easy! Easy for Warren Fenton. Well, West had no counter at all to Penrith there. Absolutely no counter. This was also easy in the final wash-up. Alexander, I think he was attracting too much attention, really. He simply skipped out a couple of paces. Gary Howell ran as a decoy. He gave it to the second man, Warren Fenton, and he absolutely ambled in.
The other problem that Western Suburbs has with their number 7, their halfback Brett Clark, failed to move up in the defensive line, and that left the hole for Fenton to run into.
Here it is again. Another of the Foster's Lager replays, and Fenton, a mighty fine campaigner over a long period of time for the Panthers. As you can see, around the corner kicker, and there it is. There's the equaliser. So Western Penrith locked together at 6 points all after 11.5 minutes of the first quarter. Oh, it's a terrible pass, but it's gone wide. See, there's just no formation, Bill, in the back line for Western Suburbs.
Not only is there no formation in attack, the problems that West are having in defence are the fact that their second rowers are being caught out wide where the centre should be.
Here's Michael Neal tackled on the halfway.
Now, these are the situations where you need someone to hit the ball up straight and hard, but West can't find anyone.
Mainly because the ones they're looking to hit it up are out in the backs. Here's Clark taking it up. Out the back it goes, and Penrith, well, Roy Simmons tried to grab the ball, but 6 more tackles ruled by referee Gosier. I thought he was held back out of the play. Here's Rod Petherbridge into the backs. Out it goes now for Sheehan. Sheehan comes to Robards, and well tackled Robards. Played quickly. McFarlane is a big second rower, runs at a lot of speed. Michael Neal to the 10-metre line. West's formation or no formation, they're doing it their way at the moment. It's come over to Fowler. It's a try. Oh, yes. Naden, the centre, has scored his second try. Well, probably the purists would say formation or no formation. This just goes to prove that you can do it any way you like. This is real Sinatra stuff.
What Western Suburbs did show here was the ability to keep the ball alive. They shifted the ball very quickly out along their back line, and then it was a good long pass over the top by one of the most underrated players in Sydney, Alan Fowler, for Naden to score.
Schubert using the same mound almost to convert Naden's second try as he did the first, and he's got it! Oh, great kicking by the shoe! Ian Schubert puts another one. 12-6, the Magpies leading. We have a super game coming out of here. With Balmain and St George. Penalty, a differential to West. There's the siren. Talking of those two combatants, Balmain and Saints, if they live up to a couple of matches we've seen from them in recent years, that will be compulsive viewing. Gee, they put on some crackerjack matches here.
If I was Penrith, I'd think I'd be getting one of my taller players to go back and help Rob Robards here.
It's that... Oh, it's going to be a try! No! Oh, Michael Neal! He was looking at the in-goal area. Thought to myself, he's only got to fall over and score. He's quite a lanky fellow. But Brad Izzard, it was, clinging onto the back of the black and white jumper. Gonzalez. They're working for something wide to the right. Lee. Oh, good hit by Freeman. Heavens above, Freeman hit him like the Rock of Gibraltar. Didn't look all that sensational. He just got his shoulder back and let drive with the thighs, and he drove upwards. And the ball, well, Brandon Lee, he had no hope in the world of hanging on to it. It was like being kicked by a Clydesdale. Alexander around Clements, a dummy by Clements. He backs it up on the outside. Brad Izzard's with him on the outside. Fenton kicks ahead. Izzard goes with him. Naden and Izzard. It's a try, is it not? Let's watch referee John Gosha. I think he's ruled that Naden, number 4, yes, has forced the ball. So it's another plus for this centre three-quarter.
Well, I don't think he got anywhere near it.
Well, just having a look at it. Let's see it again. I just want to see if he gets a hand to it. Let's have another look. And here it is. Oh, he hasn't even seen it. Well, Robarts takes the ball back for Penrith. Oh, he's run slap bang into the shoulder of the winger Sheehan. Here's Bevan down to the 22 and, in fact, inside it. Roman, put down by Gary Howe, and over the touchline, and he's given a penalty to West. We'll see it again. He's ruled that he'd called held, and Penrith went on with it. That's the only thing I can reason. Clark, a little juggle. This is Michael Neal. Alan Fella. Trouble here. Naden again. Up inside the 22. That might have been a good kick for him. Oh, Alexander treated it with all the urgency that it required. Well, this fellow Ian Naden, I'd only just said a few minutes ago, what a glorious night he's having. I thought for a moment that kick was far too big, and then it looked like it was going to be anything for him. Played now by Green. Lee. Good tackle by Freeman. He's a workhorse, isn't he? Oh, he's gone down at the moment, Freeman. He's copped one from Brandon Lee. Well, now, let me adjust that comment. It appeared that he copped one from Brandon Lee. Freeman at the moment is seeing more than Haley's Comet. I don't know what he got. Let's have a look at it on the Foster's Lager replay. That was the tackle. Now they get up. Let's see what happens here. Bingo! Oh, it's a headbutt. No, he's given him the bin. He's given him 10 minutes in the sin bin. Well, what more can I tell you? A fortnight ago, 2 players got a fortnight out of it. Tonight, 10 minutes in the sin bin seems to suffice. And then he goes. Gets it off the boot okay. He's pushed it a bit, though. Alexander, correction. Gonzalez brings it out. 15 away from the Penrith line. This is Bevan. Gerard. Warren Fenton has asked the coach to leave him there till half-time. Howe. Good run by Gary Howe. Simmons. Back it goes for Alexander. Over the halfway. Alexander still going. Pulled down about 9 metres on the west side of halfway. Penrith trailing by 6. Roman down to Robarts. Over to Howe. Howe put to ground there by Bilberger. Broman is down injured at the moment. 5 tackles gone. Now the Penrith player is injured, Gary Howe. Michael Neal's put it down deep to Robarts. And that will just about see us through the first 40 minutes with this tackle. As David Green comes outside the quarterway line. The tackle made by Alan Fella. And there's the siren bringing down the curtain on maybe not the most glamorous 40 minutes of rugby league, but certainly one of the most controversial I've watched, and easily the most controversial I've seen this season. Simmons. Alexander out for Gerard to the 32-metre line. Simmons. Here's Howe. Back inside for Simmons to the 22 line. Quite good support football there by Penrith. 5 gone for them. Alexander around Clements. There's the kick. Grubbing into the corner occupied by Sheehan. (12-6) the Magpies. Top tacklers in the first half. And for Penrith, Lee 16, Simmons 14, Gerard 11. And for West, Alan Fowler, the hooker, made 19, and Bilberger and Freeman 13 each. And here's Penrith. Very, very close. Could he get it down? No, he could not. Oh, a lucky let off for the Magpies. See it on the Foster's Lager replay as Big Clark took it ahead. And then he passed, and it was Broman in between, but they rolled Big Broman over and held him up. Here's the Lager replay of it again. Compliments of Foster's. Good ball, Petherbridge. Head-on tackle made by David Leichhardt. This is Sheehan. Crunching tackle by the Panthers. Clements and Lee. Williams. Roman making a desperate lunge with Butterfield to make the tackle. Here they come again, the Magpies. Big Clark, back to Little Clark. Now Schubert, reaching the 10-metre line. Fella holds it back. 3 metres out from the line on 5. Michael Neal's the dummy half. Sprays the ball to Brett Clark. Up goes the drop goal. He's got it. That puts them 7 points in front, the Magpies. See it again. There's the Foster's replay of the drop goal by the number 7, Brett Clark. And the Magpies leading by 7 points now. Graham Hughes, what are the do's for Penrith then?
Well, they just got to keep their cool more than anything, Ray. There is still 18 minutes on the clock. That's a lot of football. They just got to try and push the passes. They just got to not put pressure on each other. They just got to take that ball up the middle and the forwards, try and draw this defence in, and then use the likes of Alexander and Izzard out on the fringe of the rucks, just like this.
Here's Simmons, 15 out from the line, pulled down by Brett Clark. He's only a little man, but he appears to be everywhere, this youngster. Across now for Brad Izzard, out to David Leichhardt. Leichhardt throws it out the back in desperation, and going across to score is Ben Gonzalez. Gonzalez scores the try. Or was in fact it Bevan on that far side, right over in that corner. Gonzalez, I think. It was Leichhardt who was going down, and he flicked it out the back, and it was Ben Gonzalez that scored the try. But oh, that was a beautiful piece of football by both Brad Izzard and David Leichhardt. Hasn't he put some zing into the Penrith backline since he got on there? He knew that it was a situation requiring the ball to be pushed around, make West work. It's not a time really for head down, backside up stuff. And David knew he had them cracked wide open, and he had to keep it alive. Here's Alexander from the touchline. 22 out. He's kept it low. It's a great kick by Greg Alexander from the sideline. The kid under pressure, magnificent. 13-12, the Maggies leading by a point now.
From the opening few minutes of this game, Penrith have been under all sorts of pressure, but now it's going to be Western Suburbs' turn to see if they can play under pressure.
Played by John Cogger. This is Sheehan, the winger. West leading by a point. 14 minutes of time remaining. As Big Bruce Clark takes it up and over the halfway. He's still going. It's gone to Williams. Look at Alexander. Alexander, a magnificent tackle. That's fantastic. Fantastic rugby league there. John Cogger did not get it down, and it's play on with Penrith in possession. Holy heavens above, talk about a spine tingler. Well, Big Bruiser Clark, he showed everything that Western Suburbs stands for. He got back, he gritted his teeth, and he fair dinkum would have run straight through one of the pylons that holds the harbour bridge up. And then here he comes, look at the big man. He went over the top of them, and Williams was on his way. If we could, oh, I was going to say if we could have left it go, you would have seen a copybook Alexander tackle. But it's Cogger to play the ball. The Magpies lead by a point. This is Freeman. He's tackled 2 metres out from the line. This crowd, not very big, but they're really lapping up every second of this. As Clark goes for the line again. 2 metres out from the line. Dummy half Alan Fowler sprays it out to Brett Clark. He holds it back and gets out of one, out of another, out of another. It's a try. It's a try for the man of the match, Brett Clark. Well, it couldn't have happened probably for a better little player. Yes, of course I was presumptuous in suggesting that he was the man of the match. Let me just add, my man of the match. I could well be outvoted. I'll be surprised if I am. But this little fellow, a jack in the box, they can't contain him. And here he is picking up a 4-pointer at precisely the right time.
Western Suburbs weren't to be denied. Alexander was able to stop them once, but they then won the scrum. Clark did it all on his own. He stepped off the right foot, then off the right foot again. Leichhardt had hold of one leg, but he couldn't stop him.
Foster's Lager replay. The joy and the merriment that'll be out there tonight, wherever they may celebrate. Particularly if Schubert can boot this. 2 out of 3. I can still see him with the long blonde hair on the wing for Australia as he kicks this one without any trouble at all. 3 out of 4 for Schubert and 19-12 for the Magpies. This is John Cogger. Trevor is playing, where's he playing, Graham? Outside centre, Trevor Cogger?
Yes, he is.
Correct me if I'm wrong, is he not more of a half come 5/8 or the other way round?
Well, Ray, he was warming up prior to the completion of that 3rd quarter, and he was going to replace Michael Neal, but then they had that injury problem with Brett Gale, so Neal was to stay, and he found himself in the outside centre position.
Izzard is, oh, what a tackle by Grant Fivey. Now here's Trevor Cogger. He's over the halfway. I don't think there's any way they're going to deny Western Suburbs this one tonight. Craig Clark plays it back for Michael Neal. Bruiser Clark goes ahead. Out she comes. That must have been a good tackle on him. He looks around Bruce and says, where is it? And away comes Gonzalez, heading for the ground in a heck of a hurry. Craig Clark, the tackler. Well, I said it in the preview of this match tonight, down through the years, and we're looking down the barrel of 12 years of cup football. There have been times, there's a little knock on, but there's been times when they may have let us down, but who hasn't? But by Jove, we've got money's worth out of Western Penrith on the occasions they've appeared in cup football. Alexander's gone to 5/8. Longhurst is at half for Penrith now. Who'll ever forget that 77 final? Russell Fairfax won't, when West beat East by a point. Oh, there's been some memorable times in cup football for the Maggies and for the Panthers. As the ball is played by Petherbridge, away goes Fowler, dancing around young Longhurst. He's only 15 metres out from the line. And one gets the impression that West can put it on again here as Clark goes up. He's pulled down 5 metres inside the 22. Dummy half is Fivey. Out to Brett Clark and on to Craig Clark, and Trevor Cogger put it down. And it's in the arms of Lee, the second rower for Penrith. Now it's David Leichhardt. Leichhardt running himself into some trouble.
just inside his own 22. With 6 minutes of time remaining. Oh, Gerard. Well, that was a fortuitous piece of football for Penrith. A little bit too late for good fortune. Royce Simmons, and now over the top from Broman to Longhurst, and he's tackled 15 metres on his side of the halfway, but they're trailing by 7, and that's an almighty task to ask of anybody, as this ball goes on the second bounce out to Ben Gonzalez, and he's been put, I thought, into touch, but not. The ball has gone out in front of him, picked up by Bevan. This is precisely what's happening, with Petherbridge finding the line, the tap taken, and Freeman goes up to the 22. Now it's Fowler. Craig Clark to play it. Here's big bruiser Clark. He's going to score. He has. It's a try. A try for Bruce Clark. The old Magpie captain. He thumped it ahead. He had the old legs pumping. He had everything pumping. Here he comes, crashing his way towards the line. And Bruce Clark scores for his team.
Well, here's a captain who really wants to win. He hit the defensive line, blasted his way through it, and planted the ball down.
A very popular man is Bruce Clark in any company that he walks into. Of course, as I said earlier, he made a bust on the blind side that had everything that Western Suburbs ever stood for written right across it. Guts, enthusiasm and determination. And he showed it all again there. And with Ian Schubert off the field, Rod Petherbridge takes the kick. This man was signed by Penrith, but then he went to Balmain, and now with West, Rod Petherbridge. And there goes his kick just wide. So the Magpies leading by 23 to 12. Fowler turning it back. 5 is 16. Bruce Clark is in 11. Hello, he's decided to put a little chip across the back of the 3/4. I'm not just a pretty face, says Bruce Clark. I'm not just a try scorer. As Longhurst is tackled 10 metres out from his line. Long ball away now for Robards to go to the 22. Lydiard links up, taken by Brett Clark. Back it goes for Robards, and he's tackled pretty close to the halfway mark. Siren must only be a matter of seconds off as the ball is knocked on by Royce Simmons. And there is the siren. It's been a very black week for Penrith. And tonight has only added fuel to a fire that Tim Sheens, I guess, is wishing would go out very quickly. 23-12 the Magpies, with the centre Naden scoring 2. Brett and Bruce Clark 1 each. Schubert kicked magnificently for 3. Brett Clark dropped over a goal. Penrith, Fenton and Gonzalez tries, and Alexander kicked 2 goals.
Well, last Saturday saw the first game at the Sydney Cricket Ground for 1986. The Eastern Suburb Roosters, they were at home to the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. Naturally, Canterbury as premiers would go into the game as favourites, especially following their big win from the previous weekend against the Penrith Panthers.
Both sides just sorting each other out, using the kick, hoping for the opposition to make a mistake down in their own quarter.
McLean. That's Bell. Melrose, Spina, Tasman. He loses it.
That's the sort of mistake they were looking for.
Lamb. Count started again in the previous tackle. And now there's a penalty against Tessman. And Hastings comes in just to check what the penalty was all about.
Well, swinging arm, trying to rip his head off. Tessman, one of the best supporters of the ball in the world, Terry Lamb.
He's almost in front. Should kick this. Yes, in off the upright. So Canterbury lead 2-0. Folks. McGahn making another tackle. Callanan. 3 tries last week. Gillespie. They're calling for it. And that's Elias who's got it, right on halfway. Good run by Gillespie, good support from Elias. Now it's Lamb. Chipping ahead. Not such a good one, straight to Worth. Well, he had a few men outside him that time. He opted for the kick. As Dean Bell goes back.
I get the impression Canterbury were playing to tactics. The coach, Warren Ryan, would have told them, no fancy stuff, let's just stick to the basics.
Spina with Hastings. Hastings puts it ahead. Pretty close to touch too. Good work by Kevin Hastings. That's his game. Langmack. Elias. Dunn. There's been no shirking it in the East defence. A good line there. Peter Mortimer off Chris. There's Campbell. He's heading for the corner. Infield support. Good tackle from Worth. Last tackle, Bulldogs. Langmack. A chip ahead. McLean arrested him. Bennett's back there to clear up. And it'll be a drop from under the east post. But good play there. Quick work across the line, and weren't Canterbury's backs threatening. Here's the chip ahead from Langmack. And East were able to cover it with Bennett going back in goal. Spina with Melrose. A bit of work here for McLean. Good ball from Hardy.
That's more like it. That's what the crowd want to see.
Gillespie made a fine tackle too. Spina, he's after his kick. Potter's got it. Spina gets Potter. Hagan. Callanan. Dunn. Beautifully tackled by Gilmeister. Folks. Elias. Straight to Bennett. Bennett around Callanan. Katsagiannis. George for short. Spina drops it. Elias gives it to Lamb. Here's a breakout. Peter Mortimer. French made the tackle. Lamb to Langmack. Lamb. Hagan. Peter Mortimer. Lamb again. Callanan. Peter Mortimer goes down. Hagan. Well, Canterbury in great position here, but it's the last tackle. Lamb a field goal. He's got it. Lamb's kicked the field goal. It's a percentage game for Canterbury. No tries, but 3 points. All to Terry Lamb. Bennett. Gilmeister to McGann. Now Tessman. Katsigiannis goes down. Lamb was covering, and they've got him into touch. Hastings. Spina. Hastings again with Gary, with Melrose, and now with Hardy.
These set moves by the Roosters are really causing havoc in the Canterbury defence.
Last tackle, Hastings switches it. A little chip from Melrose. He regathers, flings it in the air, but he was on the deck. It was a desperation move from Melrose. He knew it was the last tackle. And the referees obviously ruled that he was held in the tackle.
You can't help it but try in here. They see Melrose realising that instead of handing the ball away, who knows?
Folks almost lost it. Elias has made a good break here. Now Elias looking for support. McLean recovers fast enough to stop the danger for the moment. Lamb. Peter Mortimer. Good break down towards the quarter line. He chips ahead, but too wide. Into touch on the full. Now, wasn't that a good chance? Langmack from Johnson. That's done. Dunn stands but can't deliver. Johnson again. Lamb. Someone following him. Potter has to clean it up. They'll be making a few breaks. That's Peter Mortimer. Stanley Campbell. Langmack for the corner. Good chip infield. Look at this. Knocked on in goal, and a try goes begging. That was very nearly a great try to Peter Mortimer off an incredible infield kick. Watch this kick.
Beautiful kick there, but this youngster Horton that's come on as a substitute for French is leaving a lot of gaps in the defensive lineup of the Roosters, and that is causing a lot of problems.
Potter's down for Canterbury here. Lamb. Hagan fires the long ball. Chris Mortimer missed it. Campbell picked it up beautifully. And Campbell's putting in a fine burst down there. That's what they didn't want, though. He's ended up in touch. They've gained about 40 metres just before half-time. It's only 3-0 to Canterbury. Spina. Chris Mortimer has something wrong with his right leg there. He's limping. Chip kick found Callanan. Callanan on the way back here. A breakout by Canterbury. They couldn't go on with it. Potter.
Only 26 seconds remaining.
Potter loses his boot. Lamb fires the pass. There's Gillespie. Dunn. Out to the centres. Elias. Campbell. Support on the inside.
Watch for the kick.
Dunn. Here's the sign. Chance for a bomb. No, a field goal from Lamb. He's having a go. It's good. He's got another pointer. So Lamb scored all the points in the first half. What did you think of that first half? With Canterbury going in 4-0 ahead. Thanks, Debbie. East kicking off. Maybe favoured by the breeze a bit in this half. It's really coming still across field. It hasn't moved around to the south as we expected. And the Bulldogs to run it back with a 4-0 lead. A fumble play by Elias, but he hangs onto it. Good break by Gillespie. Up towards halfway. Elias missed by Gary Worth. and finally picked up by Spina. Tessman was offside. He was trying to avoid the play, but he couldn't. Worth. He's still well in this game. McGann. Tremendous determination. They've got to get down the other end a bit more often than they did in the first half. Horton. A bit uncertain of the combination.
They've just got to play very tight, Jim. They have not started playing panic football. That'll play straight into the hands of the Bulldogs. They'll pick up all the mistakes all day.
Hastings directing traffic. Melrose under pressure to Spina. Spina's circled and dumped by them. Swamped. Melrose again. Worth. They're really putting Eastern Suburbs under enormous pressure when they try to clear it. Sandy Campbell. Hastings tackles him with Dean Bell. Well, East have got to do that a lot. Drive them back. Try and play a bit more at the other end if they want to get on the board. Pick up a penalty, maybe kick a field goal if it's going to stay tight. Elias. Nice one. Peter Mortimer makes a dashing break down to the quarter line. Will they stop him? They won't. What a run. Well, that came from nothing. Peter Mortimer scoring after Elias had set him up, and the cover wasn't quick enough.
Good play here. Notice Elias, beautiful ball. That's what he's been famous for in Brisbane. Beautiful dummy. And off he sets. He's got plenty of speed. Does the right thing, running away all the time, realises he's got the space, and a good try.
Now Lamb to add the extras. No mistake. 10-0 to the Bulldogs. And so far in this second half, we've only had 5 minutes. East have missed 7 tackles. And here's how Canterbury scored their first try.
Beautiful dummy here. He held the ball low. He's an expert, is Peter. And notice how he keeps running away, giving himself more space.
Hardy. Dropped by McGann. Well, there was a chance to really spurt it ahead. Now watch Canterbury come off this drop ball. It'll be very dangerous from this scene. Hagan, lovely ball. Chris Mortimer, over halfway we go, back in field. The chip ahead, knocked down by Melrose. He's grabbed it, and Campbell grabs him. Hagan again. In goes Johnson. They really made a mess of it. Somehow they kept possession. The call went awry that time. Last tackle. Another field goal attempt from Lamb. And he's got it again. 3 field goals for Terry Lamb. There must be some sort of a record for him. And it's 11-0.
You get the impression from this kick that Terry Lamb's taking the footy tab himself.
Worth's kick-off. Out the full, but I think he touched it. Callanan touched it. Well, that's a bonus for East.
Certainly is. They need to get back into the game. This really was a bad mistake. And this gives you some idea that it's not just the forwards who lack a little bit up top. The wingmen often do it as well.
That was a good scrum, straight through. East get a penalty. Canterbury ruled offside. Went straight through the tunnel. So East to kick the touch on the differential penalty. Well, take the tap, take your pick, take Tessman. They've taken him to ground, 2 metres out. Maybe 3. Spina to Horton. Into a gap. Katsagiannis heads for the line, and he's over. East are on the board. Throwing time for Roosters at last. And really that time, the Canterbury defence opened right up. And George Katsigiannis put his name on the board.
Well, he's been having an unlucky game so far, Mark Horton, but that really was a great ball to send the centre away. Go, George, in for the try. And that just about sums up the complacency. It often happens. Watch this beautiful ball by Horton. There's the gap, and away he goes. Got plenty of speed, and they're back in the game. And you can put that all down to that bad mistake from the kickoff by the winger, Matthew Callanan.
East need the points here to stay in touch. Melrose second kick is successful. So it's 13-6 now to Canterbury. Melrose, Spina. That's Bennett on the flank. Bennett going well. Good strong runner. Moves well. McLean. Well, this has given Easts a new feeling of enthusiasm. They're coming on anew. Horton wide of the ruck, but a Shepherd. Gilmeister went up ahead of him as he tried to make the play out wide. That's the new man for Easts. Trevor Patterson for Hugh McGahn. Spina. Hardy. Lost it in the tackle. Lamb enjoys the crumbs. Sigsworth to Langmack. Good ball. Campbell dashes away. Can they cut him off? He's going to go in and score. Campbell scores a try. So Phil Sigsworth, his first touch in first grade today, made a beautiful pass. Canterbury lead 17-6, and Sandy Campbell has scored a lovely try.
Well, you don't have to do much in the game of rugby league to be successful. You see the ball coming loose, and this is how good Canterbury are. From defence into attack, beautiful ball. There's Langmack, realised that the wingman is a lot faster. Watch Campbell go. Got plenty of speed, this kid. And that seals the 2 points for the Bulldogs. Just watch this very closely. He knows he's going to be tackled, gets the ball away. That's good backing up by Langmack. And out wide. Draws the 2 men. First gear, second gear, third gear and top gear. Thank you very much indeed.
Terry Lamb for 2 more points. He kicks it. He's only missed once today with his goal kicking. 4 from 5 attempts. It's 19-6 to the Bulldogs. 10 minutes left.
Certainly had a top game, Terry Lamb. Back to his best. And on this performance, it'd have to be a special to go on the Kangaroo Tour.
Melrose finds touch. So East's heading for their 3rd defeat.
And by the same token, Jim, this is where Eastern Suburbs can at least get something out of the game.
McLean dashes ahead, just 2 metres out. Canterbury's defence a bit weak there. Gilmeister, the long ball. Oh, Tasman's dropped it. Wasn't an easy one, and Campbell's come up with it. So East's chance goes begging. Hagan. Sigsworth upset just before the ball came to him, or just at the same time by Bell coming in, I think it was, and there's going to be a scrum for all that. See how this worked out. The pass and the man arrived about the same time. Yep, maybe Sigsworth took his eye off it.
No doubt about that. But the Roosters bombed a great chance there. The prop forward, having a rest on the blind side, found himself in the line of play.
10 out Easts. Chance again. Hardy. A strong game from him. Worth close, he's over. Gary Worth scored the try, and that was well deserved for Eastern Suburbs, particularly from Hardy's viewpoint. He's had a very good game, and Worth backed him up, and East are on the board again.
Certainly has, and as I was just saying, that East can still salvage something out of it. This is what they should have been doing early in the piece. Good play by the fullback, coming through, linking up well. A good play by Hardy. Notice how he draws him to him, takes the tackle, and that's what backing up's all about. A good play by the fullback.
Now here's Melray's shot to make it 7 the difference. He kicks it, so it's Canterbury ahead 19-12.
Welcome to the NEC big game for this round 5 match in the Winfield Cup between Balmain and St George. And who'll ever forget their clash in August last year before a record-breaking crowd at Leichhardt, with St George the victors by 17 points to 15. And today's match also is from the Tigers' home ground here at Leichhardt Oval. Both sides on 4 points after 4 rounds of the Premiership. Balmain with 2 wins and 2 losses, their most recent loss being to Manly last weekend, 16-14. Their lineup for today is Jack, Peter Grounds on the wing in 15, Conlon, Bevan, Humphreys, Bridge, Gale, Pearce, McCabe, Sirinen, Roach, Elias and Brooks. The Saints have had only 1 win this season, and that was only by 1 point in their 16-15 victory over Manly a fortnight ago. Last weekend, they collected 2 free points. Their lineup for today's match: Burgess, Kincella, O'Connor, Johnston, Morris, Robinson, Linane, Wynne, Noak, Selby, Walsh, Guida, and Jarvis is the captain. And naturally, both coaches will be looking for improved form from their respective sides. The referee for today's encounter is Kevin Roberts.
St George from left to right. The breeze coming against them for the first 40 minutes. Scott Gale taking in a very sudden tackle, a good tackle by Robinson. Ball played by Bevan. Jack. And George going up very quickly and hitting hard in the first 3 tackles. It's Grounds. Jumper number 15 in the side for John Davidson. Bridge. Burgess. Mike O'Connor, he couldn't have been caught in a worse possession. Conlon got him precisely at the moment he had both feet off the ground. See it? And crash. He had nothing to hold himself up with. That's Selby in 10. Now here's the captain, Jarvis. He led the men, led Saints against Manly in the second half. O'Connor is getting some attention. That tackle, as I said, Conlon got him at precisely the right time. Penalty Balmain. Offside against the Saints. There's O'Connor getting the smelling salts treatment.
Predictably, this game started with the intensity of 2 teams that are out of form and both absolutely desperate for a win today.
Gale finding the line. For Balmain to win, he's got to have one of his very best games, Scott Gale. Sirinen. How's he looking to you, O'Connor, Graham?
Well, Ray's bleeding from the nose and the mouth. I watched him when he played the ball. He then tried to make it out to his position in the centre, but he collapsed and fell over. And he's certainly more than groggy at the moment. He's looking for an exit door, I think.
So it's Disneyland at the moment for Mike O'Connor.
There was almost a fall down in play as Graham was speaking on an attempt at Balmain clearing quick kick, and in the couple of games we've seen them play this year, that's one of the problem areas they've had. That'd be pretty high on their problem sheet, their kicking game.
McCabe. Oh, Sirinen.
And that was it again, you know. They were looking to find Gary Jack to clear the ball, couldn't find him and came up with a fumble.
Oh, that tackle was a touch high from the number 9.
McCabe looked to cuff him high. Nothing said. Graham Wynn. Scrum to go down about 18 metres out from the Balmain line. There's the minor grades. 23's a big win for the Saints. Reserves an equally big win for Balmain. Balmain scrum for Gale to come away and give to Bridge. Elias, Pearce. And they hit him with everything bar their back teeth. And Pearce was still on his feet. It took the third man to put him down. Siranen. Very much a contest of muscle power, the opening 5 minutes of this match. Elias's kick is not a good one. It could even be dangerous, but Kinchella's come back towards the traffic. Sun coming in, going out as Kinchella plays the ball, and little Chris Guider is tackled. Over the top by Roach, Gale underneath. Linane, that's Walsh. Pearce low, up the top, Bridge together with Roach, or Brooks it is. Now Linane, Win to the blind, short ball. O'Connor, he might have been in Disneyland, I don't know about now though. He was breezing down that touchline. A graceful runner. Guider, Billy Noak. Three of them putting Noak to ground. 5 gone, watch for the grubber. And Linane goes for the drop goal and gets it. Steve Linane plots a drop goal. Tap will be taken by Grounds. Gale's into the 22 zone. Conlon. Elias. That was a fortuitous piece of football there for Gale. He was about to knock it on, but he must have just recovered before it hit the ground.
St George have to be very careful here. That's 2 rucks in a row that Kevin Roberts could have pinched them for being inside the 5 metres.
Bridge using the grubber. Kinchella's there. And a line drop out. The NEC replay of Gary Bridge with the grubber.
The coaches have had no problems with the change in rules, have they? The grubber kick now substituting for the bomb, getting exactly the same result, except there's not as much danger for the fullback.
The Graham Wynn drop kick from between the uprights. Graham Hughes, that breeze looks like it's doing tricky things and sweeping up a little bit more strongly now.
Well, Ray, at the start, the breeze appeared to be coming from the top right hand of your screen there down to the bottom left, but then it shifted around for a couple of minutes there behind St George. It's all over the place.
There's been another mistake by Balmain simply because players are running decoys and not prepared to catch the ball that may be coming to them, quite unexpectedly though it may be. You should be ready to catch the ball no matter what part you're playing in the act.
As far as Balmain are concerned, for a side that's had problems with their handling, they're certainly trying to put plenty of things on. I would have thought they would have just taken the ball up 1 and 2 off the ruck early in this match and eased their way into it.
Walsh. Linane. Second man play for Graham Wynn. Forward pass to Kinchella, no question. And he's going to put a scrum down. Couldn't have been sitting in a better position for that particular pass. Let's go to the sideline. Here's Russell Gartner with Graham Hughes.
Russell must be giving you some concern 2 or 3 times. I know that last one was a forward pass, but a few gaps out wide in the Balmain back line.
Yeah, Graham, doesn't seem to be that we're lacking in the numbers. We just don't seem to be putting their bigger men win and that down to the ground. They're slipping the ball, which is creating a bit of havoc, but something we're just going to have to tighten up on real quick.
It's a pretty grim struggle. Two sides that really can't find their 1985 form.
Yeah, it is. You know, we desperately need to win. We're going next week. We've got the bye next week, so we desperately need to win to keep in contact with the leaders. St George are a bit the same.
Gary Jack, Benny Elias. That's 10 sets of hands to Conlon. Heading for the corner. This is going to be a miracle try. It is. Oh! Heavens above! That's as good a rugby league try as you'll ever see. Certainly the best one I've seen this year. This is the NEC replay of Balmain throwing it around like a hot potato. Wayne Pearce and Paul McCabe, they played major roles. Gary Jack came in at precisely the right time. Little Benny Elias played his part. Conlon ran like a man much younger than he is. And then it went on to another set of hands in grounds, and Bevan scores the try. Oh, what a try it was.
There was a lot of rugby league in this that looked, for all intents and purposes, as if St George could have stopped it on any one of a number of occasions, but that wasn't to be, as Balmain played hot potato football and kept it alive. McCabe handled a couple of times in the movement. He fired the ball onto Humphries, who came back in field. He picked up Jack. It looked as if Jack could have been stopped there, then back onto Elias. He backed off the defence and gave it to Conlon, and Conlon found a small split in the St George defensive line, back on through grounds, onto the number 4, and he slammed it down for the 4-pointer.
Don't know about you people, but I think I counted a dozen sets of hands. I had it at 10 when Conlon caught it, but I was trying to count and broadcast at the same time. Here's Conlon from the touchline. Any takers? You better get off. It's over for 2 points for Rossi Conlon. 6 points to 1 in favour of the Tigers. Good try down the chute for Balmain moments earlier on. And here's Roberts now calling us back to reality with a scrum. Barry Haddock sitting alongside Michael Beattie. Gale.
That scrum was just set outside the Balmain quarter, but it wouldn't surprise me at all with some of the scrums set inside the Balmain quarter if St George adopt to use Steve Morris as their halfback. He'd be very dangerous from those set play positions.
This is Bevan. Roach. Bridge. In a heap of time, there's not a great deal of marker chase. The only man that went up on that kick was Walsh, and he's a big lump of a fellow. He can't get out there quickly like a marker chase down.
What you need is your halfback to go in those positions and scurry out of there very quickly, not a prop forward in that second marker.
Jarvis trying to muscle his way up the ground, met by Roach. That's Selby, and he knows he's been tackled. Sirenen stood back and let go with everything he had, and Roach has been called out now. He's indicating that Roach let go with a stiff arm, did he not? That was the replay of it.
Kevin Roberts and Steve Roach have had their fallings out before, and Steve certainly wasn't happy with that decision going against him.
So the tap will be taken 25 metres out from the St George line. Noak.
Chance there to pop that one up. Burgess had run into a hole well.
Walsh. Balmain, Robinson, O'Connor. Jarvis.
Brooks, one of the biggest hitters in the game is David Brooks. That kick is going straight to the full-back. Spectacular piece of play. Full-back on full-back. Ground. Gale. Brooks. Sheridan. This guy to tackling Paul Sheridan. That is definitely the long and the short of it. Out the back door from Roach. Gale was looking to get rid of it. Wrapped up by Selby. Elias. Oh, Gale putting it down. The advantage rule applies. St George come up with it. This is Robinson sneaking out of dummy half. Six more as the marker strikes for it. Selby tackled on the 32. Right, Morris has gone from dummy half. You've got to be always aware and alert to the fact that Morris will fall into there. Nope. 20 metres out. Jarvis. 10 metres out. Getting closer. Blind side for Big Win. Can he pass? It went through the legs of Guida, back through Selby to Linane. Robinson, free space, try! Right under the black and gold dot. A try that probably should have been snuffed out when Graham Wynn had the ball. He was allowed to stand like he was totally in command of everything. There's the NEC replay. And it went to ground, it was picked up, and there was ample time for Balmain to snuff this try out. That they did not, and have paid the dearest penalty.
Good play by St George to keep the ball alive, but bad defence by Balmain. Firstly on Graham Wynn. Balmain needed a player over the top to try and chop the ball off, and Scott Gale came in a bit slow there to miss Robinson, and he put it down under the uprights.
Try scorer Steve Robinson, formerly with the Penrith club. Is Mike O'Connor from right in front. This will put St George in front again by a point. O'Connor with no mistakes, not even likely. Saints 7, the Tigers 6. Jack. Missed tackles 11 Balmain, 2 St George. I was about to say I took my eyes off the game to look at those stats, and they're very important statistics. Balmain 11 missed tackles, Saints 2. Handling errors, Balmain 5, Saints 2. So it's out to Gale, and now short ball for McCabe, and intercepted by Robinson. He's looking to make it 2. He's got Morris with him. Here comes Gale. Oh, Robinson, have a look, son. Have a look. He's absolutely and totally butchered a try. Morris still might score. O'Connor. Well,
he should have just given it to Morris straight away. Morris had the speed to go on with it. Robinson never did, because he had a great chase coming from Scott Gale.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Robinson was going like an old 2-miler, and he had one of the fastest men in the game running alongside him. Here he is making the intercept. He's into what they call free space, and the man on his right was Morris. He ran away from him. And Gale, of course, he's just so fast. Oh, dear, I wonder.
Roy Masters must have felt like jumping the fence.
I was just going to say, I wonder what Roy's saying under his breath. There's O'Connor now from 10 metres out there. They're almost certainly going to get a bonus 2. Well, there it is. They picked up the supplementary, but they missed out on the jackpot. 9-6 the Dragons. Kickoff going down to Graham Wynn. Ankles it across to Burgess. Knock on by Guida. Roberts rushes in and says to Roach, get out of it, that was unnecessary.
The last time St George scored from the kick-off, they got themselves into trouble with a line dropout. This time, Balmain kick off again after the goal, and of course it's been knocked on in the first tackle. You can't win football games like that.
Bridge, Conlon, out for Bevan, away now for Stephen Humphreys. Great tackle by Ken Jella. He was on his Pat Malone, he had to do it on his own. Conlon.
Oh, Conlon's playing well today also. He's playing with a lot more purpose than what we've seen from him in recent weeks.
Bevan, Gale, Elias. Oh, what's that big forward doing out there in the road? Morris has tackled. Benny Elias was trying to get a magic ball around the corner onto the chest of his flank man. And he couldn't see his flanker because there was a forward standing there. Brian Johnston. Ball goes to ground in a scrum. Well, there's been a couple of disappointing passages of play here.
Balmain are playing forwards out wide in the back line. It was Paul McCabe sitting out wide that popped up the intercept pass to Robinson that almost resulted in a try, and another Balmain forward out wide then that caused the drop ball.
Bridge. Humphreys. That's where we start the tackle count now, of course, with Lennane striking for it. This is Brooks playing front row. Roach seldom takes it up on the first. You'll more than likely find him on the second, though. Elias across to Pearce, and now to Jack, and now to Humphreys. He's going fast. Graham wins after him. So's Burgess. Throws the ball and hopes. It came off a St George player, I do believe. I think it came off a Saints player. See it again. They outnumbered St George with some smart, snappy passing. Big Win came after him. He missed him. Oh, no, he didn't. In fact, it was Win more than Burgess who made the tackle. Balmain scrum feed. So it did come off a Saint. 9-6 St George leading. Balmain win it. No, he wants it back. He said it went straight through. Bridge. Oh, bad ball from Gale. Bridge did well, and now he's got up and still able to go. No marker. Bridge. Oh, there's a chance here. Is there what? Bevan scores his second try. Wow. The photographers go in for another classic picture of this game between the Saints and the Tigers, but there have been some dreadful mistakes in defence. Watch Gary Bridge. He's able to run as though he's not to be touched, and then Bevan was put into a hole by Ross Conlon with a nice short pass. And now Ross Conlon, about 10 metres off centre. And he's pushed it out too far. He allowed too much for the wind. So the score now, Balmain leading by a point, 10-9.
With the parents of Luke Michael Christensen go to the police room, which is located at the back of the main grandstand.
Very patient St George halfback is at the moment on the sidelines with Graham. Perry Haddock, of course.
Thanks, Ray. Perry, I think you have to admit mistakes, St George mistakes led up with that try.
Yeah, it only takes one mistake playing this standard of football, and opposition really capitalises on it, and as Balmain showed them when they scored.
Very early in the game, we saw St George try and pot a couple of field goals. I've never seen a side go for so many. Was that a purposeful tactic from Roy?
Yeah, Roy doesn't really train for us to kick field goals. He just sort of leaves it up to the individual. And he just sort of said, if the situation arises, have a shot, you know. No real planned move, but if the situation's there, have a go.
Might turn out important, that eye injury, the bone injury in the face. When did you back?
Well, I hope he'll be back next week. I thought I'll be playing this week, but the specialist ruled me out again. It's too close to the eye to it's a little bit dangerous to play. If I get it hit, I could lose sight of my right eye, which is not really worth it. So I was having another X-ray on Tuesday, and I should be right for Illawarra next week.
Okay, thanks, Barry.
Barry Haddock, one of Roy Masters, as he affectionately calls them, garden gnomes. Scrum win for the Saints against the feed. This is Robinson. Guider. Another one of the little men. Noak. 6-2 the scrums to Balmain, 3-2 penalties to Saints. Walsh. Pearce simply made a legitimate low tackle. This is Sirinen. He's had the ball taken from him, and it's a penalty to Balmain. So Balmain naturally kicking for goal. There's a high shot of Leichhardt Oval, and there's Ross Conlon down on around about the 40-metre line, about 20 metres or 18 metres in from touch. Marvellous kicker of the football. Of course, this club has been blessed with some great kickers. Obviously, the all-time great Tiger kicker was Golden Boots secretary manager these days, Keith Barnes. But I think this bloke would match strides with him every time they went round. Conlon, 40-metre kick, left the boot nicely, flags in the air. He does it well, doesn't he? 12 points to 9 in favour of Balmain. As it goes out to Bridge.
Oh dear, some of the service that Scott Gale's giving to Bridge is terrible. No wonder the Balmain backline hasn't been firing in recent weeks, if that's the sort of passing that's taking place in close to the ruck.
You'd almost think Scott Gale doesn't like him. Just let him have 2 St Vincent's passes, and goodness gracious, you could have done almost anything to Bridge. Here's Bevan, Humphreys, Johnston chases. Very fast, Brian Johnston. Gale, they've only got to spread the ball, the Tigers. That's all they've got to do. Linane knew that, so he went up and blocked them. Elias keeps it alive. So does Bridge. Now it's Grounds, and he's tackled about 17 metres out from the St George line. Quickly to the right, they've got to go. And this man is Sirinen. Oh. Jarvis went very, very high on him. Nothing said, and it's Linane who takes the grubber kick. Scott Gale getting the kick in, but Linane was fielding it first slip and took it beautifully. Guider. Jarvis. Selby. Brooks getting right on top of Selby with that tackle. And the ankles are gone from under Graham Wynn. And it's a penalty to Balmain. The ruling is that the ball must be played immediately. You must get to your feet and play the ball immediately. Now he's calling over Jarvis. I would think, I'm not sure whether to talk to him about a high tackle. Yes, it is. Let's see this. Now, Wynn is tackled. See, it's a legitimate tackle. The ball has touched the ground, so has the arm carrying the ball, and he's thrown it over the touchline. The rule simply says that you will get to your feet and play the ball immediately. And that's what he penalised him for.
Taking a huge risk, anyhow, trying to pass the ball 5 metres out from his own line.
2 out of 3 for Ross Conlon. He called Jarvis over whilst we showed you the replay, and he chatted him about that high tackle I called earlier, and I made the point, nothing said. I have to take that back now because Jarvis has been cautioned. Now Conlon, 5 metres in, on the 22. Leaves the boot and going to go wide again. So he's pushing them out a little bit too far, and Kinchela has grasped in goal. No change to the score. 12-9 Balmain, 2 minutes to go. So Balmain are going to have the time to use their 6 tackles. Can they score in front of the break? Grounds, tackled 25 metres out, the ball lost. Guida.
There are 3 different style balls in operation here this afternoon. There's an old one, and there's a striped night-tide football, and there's this new one, and the new one's the one the players are having most problems with in handling.
I wouldn't think somebody would get it out of there. Wynn. Knocked down by Ben Elias, then lost by Ben Elias, and now it's 6 more tackles for the Saints. After all, the game is about entertainment for the fans, and if they can't handle that football, then give them another one of the older type that they're using for most of the game. This is Walsh. Linane. That kick is nicely placed from Steve Linane. Jack's going back casually, and Linane makes the tackle, and the Balmain player's foot went over the line. So it'll be a St George feed to a scrum 5 metres out with 15 seconds of time to go. Well, it's a good piece of play by Linane, but not too many marks, of course, for the Balmain players who went back to recover. The half-time siren is about to sound, and this delay putting the scrum down, he might get it down. There's the siren. Linane to feed. You can bet your bottom dollar that Robinson, the 5'8", will have something worked out, probably with Steve Morris in his mind. Saints win the scrum. There's Robinson, cuts out Morris, finds Johnston. There's going to be a try, is there? No! Oh, Brian Johnston was ever so close, and it looked to me like it was simply a case of passing the football. 12-9 is the half-time score, with Balmain on top. Burgess brings it back. We spoke earlier about the kicking of Ross Conlon, and I suggested to Graham an interview that might be appropriate with current secretary manager Golden Boots and the very modest Mr. Keith Barnes. He's down there now.
Keith, you know Leichhardt Oval as well as anyone, and you've seen them all come and go. Ross Conlon, how good is he?
I think he's as good as any kicker I've seen, Graham. The big factor, of course, is that he's got such a good range. He can kick them from 60 yards without any trouble. And, of course, when you've got a kicker like him in your side, it's got to place a lot of pressure on the defence of the opposition, particularly to ensure that they maintain that 5 yards. On top of that, of course, he's as accurate as anyone, so he's a great asset to the side.
But go back to your time, around the corner, it was virtually unheard of, especially in Australia.
Yes, it certainly was. I suppose Johnny Gray was the first one to introduce it, and of course then you've got blokes like Ross Conlon and Michael O'Connor to perfect it, yeah.
How do you see this tough second half?
It's going to be a tough second half, but I feel that we're on top in the forwards at the moment, and I think that's where we'll be probably trying to play it mainly. We'll be trying to eliminate our errors, and if we do that successfully, I think we can get away with the game.
All right, thanks, Pete.
Thank you.
Good snappy passing there by Balmain and good support play. There's the missed tackles at the break. 17 for the Tigers, 8 for the Dragons. And there's a short ball by Conlon again to Gary Jack. He got away from a would-be tackle.
And that's a further example of how easy both sides are finding holes in the defensive lines out wide. St George have made a few breaks out wide, haven't made the most of them. Balmain have.
Well taken by Dennis Kinsella. He was under a lot of pressure. Selby. Big Jarvis. Gida. Walsh. Tackler was Sirinen. Wynn. Elias around the bootlaces and Wynn loses the ball.
Funny formation from this Balmain scrum. Bevan's gone to 5'8" and Bridges at outside centre.
Gale to Jack. Now it's with Humphreys. Back into the middle for Pearce. Pearce is looking for help. Wynn makes the tackle. 8 on 8. Elias. Roach. Went for almost the impossible ball. Played by Bevan. Elias. Gale on the run around. Now to Conlon. Conlon. Back it goes. Put down by McCabe. Good piece of football by the Tigers. Here's Conlon having easily the best game. Oh, here's Big Roach. A couple of metres from the line. Benny Elias across to Bevan.
Oh. Just one more pass then and Gary Bridge was home for the money.
They still might be home for the money. Sirinen. Sirinen. Gale. Conlon. Bridge. Here it is. He'll pick it up on the second bounce. Humphreys steps off his right. Into the middle for McCabe. McCabe away from one and held about 10 metres out from the line. 12-9, the Tigers leading. Conlon. Conlon. Oh, yes, sir. Oh, yes. Ross Conlon, I was in the process of saying having easily the best game I've seen from him since he joined Balmain. There's the NEC replay of him picking up a try.
Good play here by Conlon. He skirted from dummy half across field, but Selby hesitated. He fell for the little dummy in the inside. Conlon had faked. He went on his own and planted the ball down.
Conlon from 2 metres in. Leaves the boot sweetly. He's got it. Conlon again. 18 points to 9 now. The Tigers leading. Ten points out of the 18 has been laid on by Ross Conlon, or scored by him. He's probably laid on 18 out of 18. Bridge. Sirinen. Sirinen. Selby hanging on desperately. Gale. Burgess. Beating Pearce through Siranen and Bevan. Kinchell. Beautiful tackle by Pearce. Elias. Penalty to Balmain. The crowd probably thinking that referee Roberts pinched Graham Wynn for striking prematurely, but he didn't. In fact, he pinched St George for having the audacity not to be marking directly in front of the man playing the ball. 34 metres out. The breeze has almost blown itself out at the moment. They've got some magnificent controls over the weather patterns here at Leichhardt, these Tigers. Barnes waves the magic wand and says, breeze, go away for a moment. Conlon hits it. He's missed it. Conlon misses that penalty attempt, and the score still at 18-9. Gary Jack. Pearce. Elias. Bevan. Roach. Conlon again. Siranen can't take it. Brian Johnston pursued by Scott Gale. They're both very fast, but that's how fast Gale really is. Well, Brian Johnston is one of the fastest players in the game, and Gale had him in 20 yards. Here's Billy Noak. Kinchella's on his outside. He's got the ball back infield. It looked forward. It looked forward, but Burgess goes on to score for St George. Glenn Burgess scores the try. Billy Noak it was. He looked to see that Dennis Kinchella was on his outside. He let it go infield to Burgess. There's the NEC replay of Burgess going in for another St George try.
Balmain were very slack in defence to recover in the previous play the ball, and that reared its ugly head again in this one. Balmain held off, the ball got popped up to Billy Noak. He tried to position Kinchella, couldn't find him, stepped back infield, but he found the ever-present fullback Glenn Burgess backing up on that side, and he crossed for a very important St George try.
The kick was successful, and the score now 18 points to 15. Change for Balmain, Graham Hughes.
Paul Clark is on in 26 for Balmain Ray. He's replaced Paul McCabe, who I believe was asked for an improved effort in the second half at half-time by coach Frank Stanton. Clark will go to the front row with David Brooks dropping back now to his more accustomed second row position.
Guida. Lanane. Wynn. Looking back at Glenn Burgess, not on camera at the moment, but he's working on that left shoulder. He damaged it when he scored the try. In a bit of pain, Burgess. There's Bill Kane getting some instructions from Coach Stanton. Gale. Jack. Clark. Siranen. Brooks is up on his feet. They've put some bandaging around that scalp wound. Roach, short ball for Bevan, out to Jack. Jack taken by Kinsella and Lenane. Gale. There goes the grubber kick from Gale, but it's going over the dead ball line. So back to the 22 for the restart. Steve Funnell goes on in 23. And Graham Wynn is the man replaced. Guida. Lenane. Jarvis. Kinsella. Robinson did well. Ball out the back for Funnell. There's a chance out wide if they want to spread the ball. Funnell decides to run himself. Taking play just into Balmain's area.
Balmain aren't playing with the urgency one would expect from them. The score's now 18-15, but going back 10 minutes, Balmain have been a little bit slack. They almost have gone to sleep. They thought they had this game won, but so no one's told St George.
5 tackles gone for Robinson to play it. Funnell. That kick is going to find touch about 5 metres out from the line. Funnell in 23 jumper. Here's David Brooks, his face a sea of blood. Saints sending out number 14, Graham.
Kevin Duckett for St George. Glenn Burgess has been calling out to the sideline. He has badly injured a shoulder, I believe, and he's coming straight off now. He's coming towards the sideline and calling out to Duckett himself.
Roach, Conlon. Gale. Kinsella. Jarvis. Lost by Morris backwards. Lost by Funnell backwards. And Lenane has the ball. Burgess is off. That boy in the 14 is Duckett. Played by Noak. Lenane. That's a funny kick. It seems to be miles too deep, although it stood on its point, and Jack has been tackled in goal, so it's a line dropout. It was far from a stupid kick, as it turned out. It's Gary Jack with his eyes never leaving the ball, and Morris coming through very quickly, ensuring a line dropout. The Saints trailing by 3. A monster of a drop kick from Gary Jack. 60 metres as Duckett is tackled. Brian Johnston. Lenane. Walsh. He's up to the Balmain 32 line. Robinson. That's Selby back and away for Jarvis. On for Kinsella. In and around Roach. Held there by the blonde-headed fullback, Gary Jack.
And Balmain are continuing to fall off tackles. They keep this up and they're going to be in big trouble.
Lenane inside for Funnell. Funnell, he's looking at the line. It's a try. It's a try. He was tackled, but he was released from the tackle and got up and went again to score the try. See it again as there is a would-be tackle on Steve Funnell. The ball goes in from Lenane to the big replacement for Graham Wynn. He was never at any stage held.
Balmain continue to dig their own grave with shabby defence. This was a soft try. Funnell ran inside of Brooks, who failed to make any effort to get to him. He wasn't held, merely got to his feet and fell over for the 4 points.
Mike O'Connor with the attempted conversion from just 10 metres out. About 5 or 6 metres off centre. So the Saints have hit the lead and go further in front, leading now by 21 points to 18. "27 missed tackles in the game for Balmain, double the amount that our statistician has down for the Saints. Here's Steve Morris, thrown around out there like a rag doll. Guider getting it away for Captain Jarvis. Billy Noak up the middle. Can he keep going to the halfway?
Balmain now are in complete disarray.
Mike O'Connor, grubber kicks ahead. He's only got to keep it on the boot and he'll score. He's running out of time. He's got it though. He's got it all right. Mike O'Connor. How many tries have we seen like that from this former Wallaby? So here was the first occasion that he kicked. On the NEC replay, he just slowed it down a bit. Gary Jack still wasn't in the picture. Now he is, but it's all too late. And Mike O'Connor picks up another 4 points for St George.
You could sense this coming 10 minutes ago. Balmain, they were just completely slack in defence. No effort to get back and recover quickly after there was a breakdown in their defensive line. O'Connor simply socketed the ball ahead and landed on it.
4 tries to 3 now for the Saints. As the kick off the boot looked okay off the boot. It's a goal. Beautiful kick by Mike O'Connor. Saints 27. Balmain 18. Billy Kane's gone on, Graham, has he?
Yes, he's taken the place of Paul Surin, who's coming off holding his, favouring his right shoulder. I thought David Brooks might have been the one to come, but somebody's got to go out there and start putting these St George guys down. This game looks really gone.
Graham, you'd have a good view of it from where you are. Some of the Balmain forwards could almost hang their head in shame.
Well, they certainly can, Bill, but I really did think that that first half was giving the Tigers a little bit of a false sense of security. I thought their first try, even though it was a great piece of football, came somewhat against the run of the play. They had the better of the first half late in the, say, last 10 or 15 minutes. But St George put a lot into the first half. I liked their enthusiasm, and I really meant it when I thought if they could cut down their mistakes, they could certainly come home.
That kick by Lenane will find touch. Down on the 22 line. Balmain a penalty. Feet across against Chrissy Guider. About 13 minutes of the match remaining. Down by Kane, swept away by Guider to Funnell. Pearce, the chief tackler. Kincella. Selby. Good football. Johnston sprinting very fast. Taken into touch in a beautiful tackle over there by Gary Jack. Young Selby showed a lot of class there as he was able to stand in the tackle, and then he sent this man, Brian Johnston, scorching for the corner, but then Gary Jack pulled off a corker of a tackle.
St George now playing with all the confidence in the world, and Balmain in the middle of the rucks and just on the fringe, finding it hard to make a one-on-one effective tackle.
Jack again. Good solid tackle by Selby, stopped him in his tracks. Clark. Roach. Gale. Bevan. Conlon. Jack. Beautifully picked up by Peter Grounds. Wayne Pearce with him. That's Pearce. 2 metres into St George's area. Tackle number 5. Gale. That kick is well down the ground, finding touch 15 metres out from the St George line. Well, you can see that for yourself. You didn't need to have me to tell you that Lenane put the ball in behind the legs of the hooker. This is Duckett. Jarvis. Front on tackle by Kane. Funnel.
Steve Morris has folded back to this open side. He's decided he wants some of the action himself, Steve.
Walsh. So Guider it is who punches that ball over the touchline in front of a Hill crowd that is starting to diminish. Chance here. Oh, more than a chance. Put away the glasses. It's all over bar the shouting, this one. Billy Noakes scores. 31 points to 18. The Dragons coming from behind. The ball was picked up at the scrum base by Lenane. He wasn't put away by Gale. And then 2 players were beaten hopelessly by Noak before he stepped inside Gary Jack.
You can sum up Balmain's last effort for the last 25 minutes in this movement. Ineffective tackle on Lenane, and then 3 ineffective tackles on Billy Noak.
So here it is again with Lenane. They were playing touch football, Lenane and Gale. Then the other 2 gentlemen were brushed aside by Noak. You needn't blame Gary Jack. The damage had been done up in front of him. Billy Noak there with a big smile on the face. 5 from 5 for Mike O'Connor, plus a try. And he didn't know where he was after 5 minutes of time. He gets the extras. 6 out of 6 for Michael O'Connor, and 33 points to 18. The Dragons now really serving it up to the Tigers.
Once again, we must ask those children inside the fence to get back over the fence, please, and remain there.
Ball played by Duckett. This is Robinson. One of the things that has crossed my mind in the last few minutes of this match, apart from a couple of magnificent chases in defence to make probably try-saving tackles, has anybody actually seen Scott Gale let rip in attack? The question is Scott Gale saving what petrol he's got for defensive purposes? One of the most brilliant attackers in the game.
Well, I don't think that's the case. I just think that Scott's finding it very hard to get himself involved. He's not reading where he can position himself.
Is that the problem? Gary Jack. Gale has not got a greater admirer than myself, but Gee, I wish he'd slip out of there once or twice and let rip.
Well, he's only made 4 tackles in the second half, so if he's saving himself for defence, he's not doing much.
I've got a funny feeling Frank Stanton will be putting the knife through a few of the names here come Tuesday. This is Bridge inside for Humphreys. 24 points have been scored by the Saints, are you telling me?
In about the same number of minutes.
And here they go again. 6 more tackles, says the referee, however, with Conlon to play it for Balmain. And the touch judge has come on to make a report that probably will support Steve Morris in what just happened there. Penalty to the Saints. There's the O'Connor kick. Oops, what's happening here? And the ball falling down in front of the uprights, cleaned up eventually by Balmain for a line dropout. It's been so close, the encounters between St George and Balmain in recent years, particularly here at Leichhardt. I made the comment on Eyewitness News on Friday night that this would be no exception. How wrong one can be. Billy Noak.
Had a fabulous game, Noak, hasn't he, particularly in this second half.
Yeah.
He's stepped off right foot, then off the left foot. The Balmain defence just can't hold him.
The real 1985 Noak, hasn't it been? He's a good player, this kid, the number 9.
What he's done too is we're used to seeing him running off Craig Young, but he's done it all on his own today.
Connor's attempted drop goal, unsuccessful. So to the 22 for the place kick restart.
We have a police message. The police have requested that you do not remove the fence. As you can see, the police have taken up position inside the fence.
Silby's done some good things for St George. He's been strong in defence with a couple of wholehearted tackles in amongst them. Jack standing, Gale puts his foot on the accelerator, then gets it away to Bevan. On it goes to Grounds. Grounds gets a kick off his right foot, wishing to goodness that he could kick with his left. But it's going to come back for the scrum just outside the St George 22. How must Ross Conlon feel? Scored 1, had a big part in 2 others, kicked goals from all over the park. He had them at 18-9, and now he's looking at 33-18 against him. Wednesday night now. That'll be another big one here at Leichhardt. Parramatta Canterbury as the siren brings down the curtain on this match between the Tigers and the Saints. And there's the final pattern. St George 33. Robinson, Burgess, Funnell, O'Connor and Noak scored the tries. O'Connor kicked 6 goals. Linane kicked a drop goal. And for Balmain, Bevan 2 tries, Conlon 1 and Conlon 3 goals. Well, let's have a look at the other scores now from around Sydney in the Winfield Cup Premiership. Canterbury defeating East yesterday 19-12. Parramatta defeating Cronulla by 28 points to 6. Manly 18, Illawarra 8. Souths 15, Penrith 8. Saints 33, Balmain 18. And Western Suburbs continued on their winning way, defeating Canberra by 16 points to 6.
There was a good crowd on hand at Lidcombe Oval, hoping to see the Magpies continue their great form from Wednesday night. And after 8 minutes, they weren't disappointed when Wilfred Williams starts a raid, culminating in Ian Schubert scoring. 7 minutes later, Brett Clark puts up the bomb, and Big Rod Petherbridge comes down with it. 15 minutes before the break, the Raiders hit back when the ball goes out wide for Terry Fay. Right on half-time, Ian Naden swoops on a loose ball to send Michael Neal over. So at the break, the Magpies are looking good at 14-6. In a trailer second half, both teams had their opportunities, with Wests looking the better. But the only points came from this penalty goal from Ian Schubert, giving the Magpies a well-deserved 16-6 victory.
Parramatta stayed on top of the table, still unbeaten, with a relentless display against Cronulla. It took them a quarter of an hour to crack the Sharks when Brett Kenny slips through the defence. The Parramatta machine rolled on 7 minutes later when Paul Mears went down the blind side before slipping a clever pass to Brian Jackson, who was now in the clear. With support on both sides, he chose Paul Taylor, and with Steve Ella's conversion, the Eels now led 12-0. There was more to come. Skipper Ray Price was too slippery for the defence and wriggled over from dummy half, and it was 18-0 at the break. The Eels went on with it when they scored a classic team try. The ball went through 5 sets of hands before Steve Ella finished it to celebrate his first match back from England. Parramatta were playing outstanding football to lead 24-0. But to their credit, Cronulla never stopped trying. And they saved a whitewash when replacement centre Jim C was sent on his way by Andrew Eddinghausen. C just managed to beat a tied Steve Ella tackle before scoring the try. Parramatta wrapped up the scoring when quick hands saw replacement winger Graham Atkins slip across to complete a most impressive 28-6 win by the competition leaders.
A depleted Penrith side put up a strong showing against the Rabbitohs. Fullback Neil Baker again produced the goods in his new position, with great tactical kicking turning the Panthers around. At the break, South led 5-2, scoring 2 tries in the second stanza to wrap up their 4th win. To their credit, the Panthers plugged away till the end.
At the Wollongong Showground, the scores were locked at 2-2, but an Illawarra error in the 23rd minute proved costly as Dale Shearer outpaced the opposition to score the Sea Eagles' first try. Manly increased their lead late in the first half when their backline moved into top gear. Mitchell Cox's superb pass found Blake, who did the rest, helping the Sea Eagles to a 12-4 lead at half-time. Manly protected that lead in the second half to run out eventual winners by 18 points to 8.
Let's have a look at the premiership table. Parramatta on top on 10, South, Manly, Norths on 8, Canterbury 7, St George on 6, then East, Balmain, Penrith and Cronulla in a clump on 4, Wests on 3, Illawarra and Canberra on 2. Next weekend, South play Easts on Saturday, Saints play Illawarra, Manly plays the Sharks, Parramatta versus Wests at the stadium, Canberra versus Penrith, Canterbury takes on Norths, and Balmain will have the bye. So that's the program for this week. Incidentally, next time we go around in this week of Rugby League, we'll have all the highlights of the National Panasonic quarter-final between Canterbury and Parramatta, being billed in many quarters as the clash of the year. I'm Ray Warren. I've enjoyed bringing you the program. I hope you've enjoyed watching it. And that's all from this week of Rugby League.